Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when
all right, as always, Dolphins number one, baby!
So fins up to all you guys. Thank you for being
I just
here.
want everybody to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on, is we are all Dolphin fans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me, as always, tonight is Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphin Thirsty. How you doing, Rob?
Doing awesome, man. Loving our special guest, and not loving the result last night, but we're getting to that later, but doing well overall.
Great. Good to hear, Rob. Good to hear. And we do have a special guest tonight, and it's Miss Courtney. Miss Courtney, how you doing tonight?
I'm recovered from the hangover, so I'm here.
Yeah, hey.
Great. I'm glad you're feeling better. I just wanted to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. Remember to hit that like button as you're coming in. Subscribe, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And remember, we may not always agree everything Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins. And I want to introduce to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new sponsor for the Fins Talk Sports Network. It's the greatest show on surf. You can use your Fins Talk promo code, and you can also save you can save 15% off on all your purchases. And let me just tell you a little bit about our new sponsor. I'm very excited to introduce them and for joining us in this Fins Talk Sports Network. And you can get all your gear there. You can get your shirts, your mugs, and looking sharp and going to the games are just around the neighborhood. But the Miami Dolphins fans, we are so excited again, as I mentioned, to announce that the Fins Talk Sports Network has partnered with the greatest show on surf shop. If you love the Miami Dolphins and you want to represent the best team in football, you have to check out their store, named after the best offense in the NFL, the greatest show on surf. You can go to the Fins, the greatest show on surf shop, or it's greatest show on surf.shop, and they have everything from hats, hoodies, jackets, shirts, and more. And as we just went over, you can show off your fandom and you can stand out with this awesome merchandise. And when you make your order, please use that Fins Talk promo code and you can save 15%. And another benefit, anything over $50 is shipped for free.
Sounds good, man. Sounds like a plan for those Dolphin fans out there.
Absolutely. And then everybody is also, I'm aware of, I'm sure, of the Caneswear. You can go to caneswear.com and you can also purchase Dolphins gear, any of your local sports teams down there in the South Florida area. So you're looking good when you go to the games. When hey, get it, wear it around the house. I wear my shirts around the house, even if I'm not going out in the public. So get your merchandise through them. You can go to caneswear.com if you're out of the South Florida area, or if you're in the South Florida area, you can go to their local store down there. Rob, if you want to bring that address up again so everybody can see that. There it is, located at 2655 South University Drive. That's in Davie, Florida.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Steve.
Let's get this show on the road. So as you can see, I'm wearing my rose-colored glasses because, lately I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the, on X or Twitter, as they call it. A lot of folks, wearing their rose-colored glasses, man. they're saying, hey, it's only one game. Hey, we're going to be fine. But you know what? Tonight we're on Real Talk Fins Talk, and we're going to get down to business. And we got Miss Courtney with us and Rob. And I know Rob's not very happy, and I know Miss Courtney wasn't happy either about the turnout of this game the other night. So let me take my rose-colored glasses off. Let me flip my hat around because we are going to get down to business.
All right. Sounds good.
So for all of you guys, ladies as well, on X, all these stats. Tua has these stats. Tyreek is going for this record. We're going to set all this stuff. We're going to be in the books and history for this stuff and for the greatest offense of all time or whatever, whatever it might be. Well, let me give you a little bit of history. We made history last night. Did you know that, Rob? Did you know we made history? Courtney, did you know we made history?
I'm scared.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. The Dolphins last night, they became the first team since 1976 to lose a regulation game after leading by 14 points with 3 minutes left in the game. Put that in your books of history. As a 13.5 underdog, the Titans were, they pulled off the biggest upset of the season, which is tied for the third largest in Monday Night Football history. So we made it in the history books last night, Rob. So if you watched the same game that I did, which I'm sure you all did, and you saw what I saw, we saw a putrid offense. This offensive line was exposed. Again, we're a very talented team when we play the bad teams. And guess what? We lost last night to a bad team. Courtney, let me get your take on the game last night.
Shit show.
Yeah.
It was a complete meltdown.
Well said.
I'll blame the refs were a problem, but even bigger than the refs, our behavior. There's not a single person I can't blame, which is kind of shocking for me because at least there's like a shining light somewhere. It was ugly and it was embarrassing.
Rob?
Yep, no, same thing. It's very hard to find a positive in this game. I'm positive that they played horrible last night in all facets of the game, special teams, defense, and offense, and their coaching towards the end, all bad.
Absolutely. So if you had to lay blame on this loss, and I know you and I, Rob, have a difference of opinion on this, and Courtney, I'm going to have you give me your opinion on this as well. But Rob, I'm going to start with you first. Who can you blame for this? Who do you give the majority of the blame to?
I give this a whole team loss. I know where your choice is because you're going with our quarterback, but to me, he's to blame. Bradley Chubb playing stupid, missing his sack, then taking a stupid 15-yard penalty to throw in his helmet, giving him an extra 4 points and sending him settling for a field goal attempt that, anything can happen. He could have missed it. We don't know. Guaranteed an extra 4 points. A defense that's supposed to be emerging and transcending with all their stars, giving up, as you just pointed out, a 14-point lead with just over 4 minutes to play in the game. That's everyone. Could Tua to play better? Of course, I'm going to agree with you, Steve, on that take. He could have played better. But this is a complete team meltdown. Complementary football in reverse. All phases contributed to the loss in this game. Special teams, defense, and offense.
Courtney.
I agree. I'm pointing a huge finger at Vic. I think playing prevent zone defense at the last 3 minutes is shit the bed. They absolutely found the seam. They hit it. X, I don't think played his best. I know he got hurt in the beginning, but they were targeting him all night. He was trying, but he wasn't playing his best ball. The offensive line, I don't think I need to go into detail about that. Bradley Chubb being an idiot, not finishing tackles. All season, he gets back there, he gets the pressure, can't finish the play. can't wrap it up, but he used to have Jalen Phillips who could actually make the tackle and help him out. He doesn't have that help anymore. He's being shown. Mike McDaniel, I don't know, let's just abandon the run in the red zone every time. I can't forgive that. He's a brilliant call player until you need to make just basic fundamental football calls. And then suddenly he wants to be showy. I just, I can't.
Yeah, I don't get that either, Courtney. That's well said. For whatever reason, because you see, we're almost balanced running offense. I mean, running and passing. But then every time you get into the red zone, that balance goes out of the equation, and he decides they're going to do fancy little passing plays.
First play in the red zone is Uchan or Mozart running it. And Mozart has 18 touchdowns on the season. You're going to tell me that you don't think he's going to at least get some yardage, if not in the end zone? But no, let's keep throwing the ball behind a depleted offensive line. Tua's getting pressure. Tua hesitates too much. He won't step up and run. So he's going to get the sack because he's too busy looking for a throw instead of taking off himself. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Well, I kind of agree with both of your takes. I agree with you, Rob, and Courtney, I agree with you. Both the defense, yes. The defense, they just dropped the ball in the last 3-4 minutes of the game. But this offense didn't score points until the fourth quarter. Till the fourth quarter, this offense did not score points. And the only way they scored points was from turnovers that our defense created. Our defense scored 7 points, gave Tua Tagovailoa and the offense 2 opportunities to score, one from the 7-yard line, one from the 12-yard line. If it wasn't for that, this offense would have never made it down the field into the red zone. That's how bad they look. If you guys didn't see what I saw last night, then you not you guys here, but anybody that's a Miami Dolphin fan, you're wearing the rose-colored glasses if you didn't see what I saw last night. You cannot make excuses for this. There is no excuse for this. And you know who else I blame? Not so much Tua Tagovailoa, Rob, as you thought. Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel giving up on the god-dog run every single time. Last year, he did the same thing. He did the same thing last year. Giving up on the run when Mostert is running 7.5 yards a carry or whatever it was. What was he running the other night? He had 4-point-something yards a carry.
Yeah, he was over 4 yards a carry, and Achane was over 6 yards a carry.
Achane killing it.
There you go.
And we're not giving him the ball.
There you go. I agree with you 100%. I mean, McDaniel, I put 80% of the blame on Mike McDaniel. Okay? Now, look, I talked about the offensive line, right? We all know about this offensive line. This offensive line hasn't been right all year. Armstead's only played 5 games, for goodness sakes. Wynn has been out. Now we lost Connor Williams for the whole freaking year, maybe forever.
Yeah.
We lost Connor Williams because we didn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
The best center in football, the number 1 center in football, and we lost him. Yeah, and we didn't pay him.
No, I know. That's what stinks. That's why all these players, when we get mad, they're going to sit out camp because they don't have an extension. This is why they need that extension. This man has been the number 1 center in all of football, playing on his last year of contract. Now he's hurt. No team's going to give him a multi-year contract going into next year because he's going to be out all the way through December. I mean, I'm sure the Dolphins would do right by him and work out something for him, hopefully, but he's not going to get that long-term big money contract that he wanted. So just a side note, that's why next time we worry about players, you just play, this is why, they want those extensions, because you get hurt. Then it's like, well, thank you for your service. Don't let the door hit you on the way out half the time, So it stinks, Courtney, on that front, because Williams has been the best center in football, minus some snapping issues that we've all seen over the course of the season. Minus those, he's been very good at his blocking, and that's the main thing we need from a center.
Moving forward, I'm concerned about that center position.
Yeah.
Unless we go out and get somebody, I don't know if we have. It ain't going to be Eichenberg. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I know. Well, look, next game coming up, Robert Hunt's not going to play. I doubt if Armstead is going to play. Now we don't have Connor Williams. And I know that I've heard that Lester Cotton is taking snaps at center. Lester Cotton, our third stringer, is taking snaps at center.
What's Pouncey doing these days?
Good question. He's retired.
I know.
But let me go over this offensive line because Courtney, I know you mentioned the offensive line as well as I did, and you said that you know what it's all about, and you're right, you do. And let me just explain something here. Number one, this year, the only reason why, even with Armstead in the lineup, even with Connor Williams in the lineup, I know he's been playing well. And number one center in the league. That's all true. Robert Hunt, solid. But here's the deal. Mike McDaniel, with this play design, okay, in this offense, and with Tua's quick release, that's a very strong skill of his quick release, 2.3 seconds, he got rid of the ball. Did you see what happened yesterday? And it wasn't because of the O-line. I'll tell you what it was, though. But first, let me go over the O-line about in the game yesterday. I've got some PFF scores. Our whole right side of the offensive line, our whole right side, that includes Austin Jackson, who we just paid $36 million contract, $20 million guaranteed. Do you know what his PFF score was the other day? Last night?
No, I know it was low.
36.5. Do you know what Robert Jones' PFF score was? PFF? 40.
No.
Worse?
Yeah.
No. 40.
Yeah.
Austin Jackson, our highest paid player on the line and the only starter left, had the lowest. He had 36. Liam Eichenberg, 55.3. 55.3. That was our offensive line on the right side.
Yeah.
Now, the offensive line wasn't our biggest problem last night. You know what our biggest problem was?
Tyreek Hill being out.
Well, that was one of the that was I'm glad you brought that out. Go ahead, Courtney. What were you going to say?
Is that the problem? It's a bigger problem if Tyreek kills our entire offense.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, let me just say this. Let me just say this. Okay? Let me just say this. Tyreek Hill is 44% of this offense. 44%. Now, look, everybody says, oh, well, he doesn't play the whole games. They take him out when he gets hurt, which he has been banged up this year. They take him out a few plays. He misses a few plays. Okay, but when he comes back in, who's the main target? Who does Tua go back to? Prime example. He was out all last night. Who'd he go to as soon as he came back in the game? When they gave him the little shot of tea in the locker room and he felt really good. Oh, I got all my adrenaline. No, it wasn't adrenaline. It was the drugs you were on that they shot and numbed your ankle. That's what it was.
Well,
excuse me for 1 minute. Rob, go ahead and take over. I got to answer my door.
Okay, no problem. Cap for life. Yes, we still give Butch Berry credit. He's made the most out of this line. I think he's just picking on the injuries and that the performance is down without our starters. There was no Armstead last night. Connor Williams missed most of the game. So I understand. And then Isaiah Wynn has missed most of the season now. So that's where I think he was picking on the offensive line. Oh, that was quick, Steve.
Yeah, no, my door's not too far from where I'm sitting right now. So I'm good to go. So, but I wanted to give you a little synopsis of Tyreek Hill. Okay. As I said, he's 44% of this offense. Now, let me give you these stats that I have here. Okay. When Tyreek goes over 100 yards in pass receiving, the Miami Dolphins are 8-0. When he gets less than 100 yards receiving, in other words, when people shut him down, when good defenses that have the personnel, and I'll get to that in a minute, shut him down, we're 1-4. Total yards per game when Tyreek is on running on all 6 cylinders, 477 yards. When we're not, or when he's not, 336 yards. Yards of play. When Tyreek's in the game, getting over 100 yards, we're working on all 6 cylinders, 7.3. When he's not on all cylinders and they're shutting him down, 5.7.
Yeah.
You see how much
that's a
of
big difference.
You see how big of a difference Tyreek makes in this game? So Tyreek and Tua Tagovailoa, whole offense is tied to one man, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And guess what? He may not play next week. And guess what we're going to play against? We're going to play against the New York Jets, who has and we'll get to their ranking of their defense, but they are a passer rushing defense. Okay? And guess what? The next 3 games after that, Dallas, Ravens, Buffalo Bills. Guess what they are? They're a pass rushing defense. And guess what? They have the personnel. It doesn't matter what the record is. It doesn't matter if they're a bad team that we play. If they have the personnel, which Tennessee Titans had, they're a bad team, but they got the personnel on defense to shut down the highfalutin greatest show on turf.
Any thoughts, Courtney? Give Steve a break there.
I think a big problem, with Tyreek being our whole offense, though, is the defense of the other teams play different when he's not on the field. And I'm concerned that we haven't practiced maybe enough without Tyreek in the scheme. Because you'll see, they're not scared anymore. They're putting pressure. They're all over everybody else. I like Braxton Berrios, but he doesn't have the threat that a Tyreek Hill has. So when he's out there, it limits Tua. He has to hold on to the ball longer. He's not going to run with the ball. And I'm just wondering if it might be smarter moving forward if they need to get some reps and more practice maybe without Tyreek, not depending on him as much. Because going down the stretch, we can't have him get hurt again playing like Dallas or the Ravens and suddenly have our offense just sputter and stop because nobody can function without Tyreek Hill in the field. No one's threatened by Waddle the way they're threatened by Tyreek. And McDaniel is going to throw the ball all 3 times instead of leaning more heavily on the the tandem that we have. I'm calling Mozart and Achane the next Ricky and Ronnie. In my opinion, they have what it takes to be that kind of duo that we need. And I think that McDaniel really needs to get his mind off the pass and put a little bit more on to the run game and really lean on them because they can do it. And maybe let's use Claypool a little bit. He's the big body kind of maybe some tight end fits like Kansas City's doing Kelsey and just start focusing a little bit more on the other guys.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. They need to, at this point, at least. Why did he keep on throwing a fade pattern to Tyreek Hill, who's not a fade type receiver? He's great. Don't get me wrong. Tyreek Hill's a blessing to this team, but he's not going to out jump someone for the ball on a fade route. You need a big, tall receiver to go up there and get that ball.
It's crazy because
keep on going to that play over and over again. And I know, Cap, you want us to hammer Tua a little bit, and he is a big part of the loss last night. Don't get us wrong. Steve was all ranting and raving about Tua earlier today when I was talking to him. But to me, this was just a complete team failure in all facets of the game. Because if it was only horrible Tua, you can say, okay, at least it's an easy. But that whole game, the whole team, Chubb throwing his helmet, stupid things like that, is just dumb football. And letting a field goal get blocked, that's on special teams. It's just bad, man. It's just, I wish it was only Tua played bad and the rest of the team played awesome. Because then you can say, okay, this is definitely on Tua. He cost us this. But last night was just a team effort in costing us this. They're worrying about their premeditated touchdown celebrations. I mean, after we got our butt kicked all night long, they still come up with their little wheelbarrow race. I'm like, forget that, man. You're calling them all together. Just spike the ball. I'm all for having fun, but when you're getting the snot beat out of you, just score a touchdown and say, let's get back to business. Don't worrying about big celebrations, getting them all there together. You've been beat the whole night, and then you're going to celebrate like that. We were fortunate to be up 14-0. I mean, 14
I want people to get angry, and I'm wondering if Hard Knocks is affecting that. Like, if maybe they're all putting on a show, being super sweet, being super like camaraderie, because there's a camera crew back there. Because I would have rather seen my team been throwing shit in the locker room, cursing, being like, guys, get your shit together. The fuck is happening?
Well, but hopefully they did some today. They had a players only meeting today, reportedly. So hopefully they did some of that. And hopefully some people stood up and took accountability for that fiasco last night.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Courtney on that. And Rob, we discussed this on Real Talk, Finns Talk, when you asked me, do I think that the Hard Knocks is a distraction? And yeah, I think it is a distraction, Courtney and Rob. And it's almost like reality TV, man. Come on. Those guys are not going to act the same way they do when the camera's not on them. Don't give me that bull crap. Okay? I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. I haven't been around the block. This isn't my first rodeo. Okay? Don't give me that crap that you're all lovey-dovey and hovey-dovey and kissing on each other and patting each other's ass in the Hard Knocks and in all the room, wherever room they're in, the locker room or the training room, whatever it is. That's bull crap. Okay? That's bull crap. But here's another thing I wanted to touch base on too, and Evan brought up a good point. He said Mike McDaniel doesn't hold this team accountable. I agree with him 100%. That's one thing is a pet peeve of mine. Is Mike McDaniel is too much of a softie. He's too much of, he's like the father that wants to be a friend to his little kids. No discipline, lets them do whatever they want. For Christ's sakes, they had a freaking team meeting today. Where was McDaniel? Oh, the players were having a team meeting today.
Oh, that was a players only, though. It was.
I don't give a crap what it was.
But sometimes you don't want coaches around. It was a players.
He wasn't there.
He's not
a player, Steve. It was a players
I don't care what it was. He's the doggone coach of the Miami Dolphins football team.
Right,
he should be in that locker room cussing those doggone
come on, Courtney.
He should be on their asses, cussing them out. What is he doing? Oh, my God. Has his hands folded when Bradley Chubb threw the helmet down and gets a 15-yard penalty.
But sometimes you need stuff away from the bosses. Because sometimes you're not going to talk.
He pats him on his ass.
All right, Steve. You're going a little too crazy right now.
No, I'm not.
I don't think it's a players only. What part of word players only meaning?
I don't care if it's a players only. He should be in.
You don't understand the locker room, then. You don't understand the locker room. Sometimes they need those players only meetings.
No, McDaniel don't understand the locker room. Or they wouldn't have come out and lost 28-27.
Yeah.
Don't tell me he don't know what the locker room is. He don't know what the locker room is.
Children.
God dug it. I'm fired up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Courtney.
Gonna get you a Xanax in a minute. The passion there. She saw me last night. My tweets show I was a fool last night. I think that the players only meeting is fine. Hold each other accountable, but McDaniel should still have his meeting with the players.
Exactly.
I don't think he needs to be at the players only. Let them internally hold each other accountable, and then he should turn around and say, "Great, you guys talked. Now sit the fuck down, and I'm gonna talk."
Right.
That is what he should do. But I don't think he should be in the players only meeting. I think that that's fine that they do their thing. And then he can turn around and say, all right, children, shut the fuck down and let me show you what the problem is.
Yeah.
That's the balance. And that's what you should do.
Good points. No, that's a good point, Courtney. And I agree with you, Rob. It is a players meeting. I'm just fired up. I'm passionate about this team, man. Dude,
I think we all are, Steve. You said it in the beginning. We all want the Dolphins to win. We may not always agree, but we always want the Dolphins to win.
But you know as well as I do, Rob, we've been doing this for almost a year and a half now, man. And we saw the same crap last year, man. They were 8-3, although this year they were 9-4. Everybody, and here's another thing. Another thing I didn't like. Okay. Tua goes up there in a press conference and he goes, "Oh, it's not the end of the world. The fans are not seeing the same team as last year. We'll get better." Tua Tagovailoa, it's the 13th game of the season. You should be peaking, not trying to get better. You should be peaking at the 13th game of the season. Okay? I'm tired of the bull crap, man. I'm tired of them trying to, it's the smoke and mirrors all over again, man. They're blowing smoke up our asses again, just like Chris Greer did with Mike McDaniel. Don't worry about it. We're not worried about our offensive line, but not as much as you guys. Well, what do you think he's doing now? I bet he's got a brown spot on the back of his pants right now.
Well, you just said the one common denominator that's been between two coaches, Chris Greer. It's on him to get the better talent along the offensive line and all of this stuff. So I don't know why he gets a pass from Dolphin fans so much, Chris Greer. No one ever wants to take a shot at him. He's a big reason for this. This is the team that he built to win this year. This is the team that he says can compete against the 49ers when asked, that can compete against the Eagles, that can compete with the Buffalo Bills. He said yes to that. He goes, this is the team. He said it to start this season. And so that's why Chris Greer gets no sour grapes from anyone. I don't get it. Some people on Twitter would throw, like Brett Lagrassi, but everyone else just gives, Greer this, let's give him his flowers. Give me a playoff win and I give Chris Greer some flowers.
Thank you, Rob. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. You took the words out of my mouth. Courtney, do you have any response to what Rob said?
I'm not huge on Chris Greer. I never have been. But I don't know enough about it to know if is Greer not going after it? Is it the coach? Is it McDaniel? Before that, Flores? Are they the ones saying like, yeah, we don't need it, our team's good? And are they the ones that are like, where's he getting his information from? Because he's not making the sole decision. So I don't know how much blame to put on him versus the coaching staff who he's maybe consulting and resorting with and talking to.
True.
But I do think that off-season changes need to be made that weren't made. And I think it either comes down to we couldn't pay them, we couldn't get the guys in and to cover their ass. They're like, no, we're great with our people. I don't know enough about the backstory. The Dolphins want me to be behind the scenes. I'll gladly.
Same here.
I'll consult, no problem. But I don't know enough about it to start attacking or like criticizing him.
I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and call Chris Greer right now. Let me dial his number.
Tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. No, but like I say, he just to me he's been with this franchise for a long time. Yes, I'm not going to give him all those years because he just got in charge when Brian Flores. But at some point, you have to say, well, it's on you because if you blame coaching, then who's hired both coaches in his team? He hired Flores and he hired McDaniel. Then that's on, it's on Greer too. So it's upsetting. And I think we're all fed up because we've seen this rodeo with Dolphin fans. If we were a team that had recent success, we would just be saying, oh, this is one bad game. But we've seen this story. We've seen this movie, and it ends the same all the time. We start off great, and then the writers, decide they're taking a little vacation, and the ending sucks. And that's what happened to the Miami Dolphins season every year. It's just the ending sucks, Courtney. And I know you're –
prime time. Like, as soon as we get a primetime game, I'm like, shit, we're losing.
No, that's what my blog said today.
When
the lights go on and we go off.
I was like, I shouldn't have said that we were going to win because I'm going to jinx it, and it's a primetime game. And it's just something's in the Dolphin DNA that if it's a primetime night game, I thought that maybe when we did well with the Jets on that like Thursday primetime, or actually Black Friday primetime, maybe we're good. No, the trauma and the scars of being a long-term Dolphins fan knows that if the primetime game, buckle up because it's going to be ugly.
No, it is. It's just, and that's why Dolphin fans are always complaining, oh, why don't we get the love from the national people? And this and this. This is why we don't get the love, because every time we're on the national stage, we poop the bed. I would say, try to get it back to PG since we were all fired up there a minute ago. But, we just do awful. It's pathetic. And we will get the credit when we beat winning teams and we win playoff games. That's when credit comes, because you have to earn credit. It's not given.
Right. No, I agree. But going back to, I hate harping on this offense, but God dog it, man, they've really been disappointing. You know, they but here's the thing with Tua Tagovailoa, and I've talked about this from the beginning of the year. You know, when I went to I was here in Houston and I watched them play, practice, do some joint practices and things like that. And what I saw from Tua um, was basically the same thing I saw him from last year, doing the same thing. He's making the same mistakes now, like he does in December. When his first read isn't there, I know people are not going to like me for saying this, but God dog it, it's the truth. When his first read is in there, he doesn't know how to process the field. He panics. He pumps the ball, and he doesn't process the field, and he holds on to the ball. You can't blame the offensive line for that. There were 3 sacks last night that the offensive line had great blocking on passing coverage, several times, and what happened? Tua got sacked 3 times. Why? Because he's going for the first read. And I'll give you a prime example of what I mean by first read. And I don't know how many times I have to keep emphasizing this and showing examples of what I mean by first read. We've seen it all year round. Again, everybody watches the same games I do. I don't look at the team as with rose-colored glasses. When I look at the team, yes, they won. Yay, they won. I want my team to win, right? I'm a Dolphin fan for 51 years. But when they play bad and when I see that product on the field, the way they played against the Titans, the way they played against the Bills, the way they played against Philadelphia, the way they played against Kansas City, okay, you've got to question that offense. You've got to question Mike McDaniel. You got to question Tua's decision-making, okay? You saw it. Let me give you an example. You remember when Tua went back to pass and he threw the pass to Waddle on the left side across the numbers, and Waddle, he threw it to the left and Waddle went to the right.
Right.
And Waddle blamed himself about the move that he made. He was in the wrong position, right? That wasn't miscommunication. Well, I guess it wasn't to a degree. But the bottom line, what I'm trying to get at, Tua was thrown to that spot no matter what Waddle did. If Waddle wasn't there, it could have been a Tennessee Titan there. He would have thrown it to that spot. Okay? That's the examples that I'm trying to make, and people don't see it, man. They don't. He's accurate. He's anticipating. No, he's not anticipating. He's throwing to a spot. For goodness sakes, listen to what Tua said. Listen to what he said in his press conferences. I've got to trust my receivers to be in that spot.
Yeah.
He said it himself.
Yeah. No, Evan's points are good. Yeah, but Tua did almost got Jalen Waddle killed last night on that.
That's what I'm saying.
He terrible. Again, it goes back to his decision making, man. No, did you see it, Courtney? I know you're about to say something, right? Go ahead. What were we gonna say?
Yeah, I said he threw him. Should have been the defensive player hit on Waddle, but Tua threw him right, led him right into danger. Unfortunately,
they call it a hospital pass. That's they just thrown him.
Well, he almost put Waddle in the hospital.
The hit should have been flagged, but Tua led him there and kind of set him up. Thank God he kept the ball in his hands and he got up and he was okay. But yeah, that makes me. But my biggest concern with Tua is that he holds onto the ball and doesn't fucking run. Like I scream at the TV like when there's pressure and he can't find his second read and he doesn't know what to do and he's standing in the pocket and he just doesn't you see it open and I'm just like, just run, just take it and slide, get 3-5 yards. If Patrick Mahomes can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, I know.
I agree.
He run a couple times last night, and that was more than he normally does.
Yeah, and he almost got creamed both times.
Yeah, but I know.
Here's the thing. And we'll get off this topic of the Titans game. We'll kind of go into the Jets game because that's the next game. We'll put this Titans game behind us. But I want to give kudos to the Titans. I have to. Okay, I want to give kudos to Will Levis. Will Levis played like an all-pro caliber quarterback last night. That dude was running all over the place, getting out of the pressure, finding folks open. What an arm that young man has. And you know what? He knocked a living crap out of Jalen Ramsey when he ran that ball. He had Jalen Ramsey and curled him up in a fetal position when he got hit. when he hit him. Okay, he's a big man. He's six something, 6'3", I think, 6'4", 230. He's a big man. But the bottom line is you got to give credit to the young man. The young man played an outstanding game. He brought the Tennessee Titans back from a 14-point deficit, and he won the game. And you got to give credit.
2 drives. He played great. The
Yeah,
rest of the
he
game,
played
that's
great.
why it was so frustrating because we basically contained their offense, and then we allowed those 2 touchdowns.
Well, they contained our offense too. But
Yeah, I
the
know
bottom line,
that.
they had over 400 yards on our defense last night.
I believe
Tennessee,
our defense played horrific.
Yeah, they did.
They had
Thank
over
you, Cap
400
for Life. Make sure you hit
yards.
that thumbs up on the way out, Cap for Life.
Yeah, and I'm forgetting everybody in the chat. I really do appreciate everybody for joining us tonight and putting up with my passion for the Miami Dolphins. And Rob, I thank you for reeling me in as always. And Courtney, if you weren't here, I'd probably still be going. But thank you for being here tonight. You've been a great guest, making good points, and definitely going to have you back again. In fact, Courtney, we're not closing the show down right now, but where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. It's doll_fan72. I actually put it in my name this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only on Twitter. You'll see me ranting and raving, drunk during games.
It's all fair. It's it, man. Do you go to mini? Oh no, you're way up there. I forgot about that.
I'm up in Pennsylvania, but my goal is next year to go to a home game. I haven't been to a home game at Hard Rock in 5 years. The family that's Steeler fans, we usually go to Heinz Field when the Dolphins play the Steelers. Or I go to MetLife, unfortunately.
Okay.
There's
Good.
1 minute. There's their name, guys.
Cap for Life, don't go. Cap for Life, don't go. I'm not closing the show down, my friend. Unless you have to go.
I think he has to roll.
Oh, okay. All right. No. Anyway. But yeah, so let's I do just wanted to give kudos to him, and I wanted to give kudos to the old veteran too. Hopkins, I mean, he was their team. He was all over the field last night, making plays. He was given all our defensive backs fits. It wasn't just X. It wasn't just Ramsey. He was given all of them fits. And talking about our defensive backs, Deshaun Elliott might be in concussion protocol. He might be joining. I think Javon Holland is in protocol too, right?
No, he is. I think he said he had 2 MCL sprains.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So he might not be playing again next week, and either will Deshaun Elliott is possible. He won't be playing.
Armstead's day today.
We got Melvin Ingram today, so I don't.
Yeah, Melvin Ingram. We did acquire him. Yeah. What do you think of Melvin Ingram, Courtney?
I don't know how much he has left in him, but hoping that he can make a difference. Get pressure, maybe actually finish tackle.
Yeah, well, that's a specialty. So, yeah. I mean,
I hope, but I got to see him. I don't think I haven't watched him play in a while.
Yeah, he was signed to the practice squad, but hopefully that's just to get him back in practice shape because he's not in football shape. Probably he wasn't on anyone's roster. But
yeah, I don't know.
I'm with you. So. It's going to be maybe between him and JPP who does better and stuff. We got Bobby. It's going to screw up all the screens here, but Bobby's coming. Hey, Bobby. Oh. Bobby, are you in here? Well, Bobby's trying to come in.
Okay. Well, if he comes in, that'd be great. Yeah. Let's go on to the Jets. We've got the Jets this coming week. Zach Wilson is coming off one of the best games he's had in his career. Look, Zach Wilson, he's very inconsistent. He was benched, maybe a mistake by the New York Jets, but he's not the last quarterback they have. Boyle, he's not him. He's very mobile. He can run and he can create plays off script. Something Tua needs to learn how to do. But he can do that. The offense is dead last in the league. In fact, their offense is number 32, dead last. Their scoring offense is 28th. Their rushing offense is 30. and their passing offense is 29, and their total offense is 32. So they've got a pretty bad offense, although they played a really good Houston team last week. And like I said, Zach Wilson had a great game. I don't expect him to be consistent like that. I don't expect him to have another great game against the Miami Dolphins like that. I don't expect him to be a Will Levis. Miami's offense, I don't even know why I should be reading these stats, and I'm not, because we all know what they are, right? Number one and number two in rushing, number one in all categories, number one offense, number one pass, two rushing, scoring, they're number two with 31 points a game. In the red zone, they're number one. So we know what their offense is capable of doing when they're working on all cylinders, and when they're playing against bad teams that have bad defenses that don't have the personnel. The defense, we're going to go over Miami's defense. Of course, Miami's 9-4 this year. Let's not forget that. They're still 9-4. Still in control of their own destiny. But anyway, their defense is number 9 total. Passing defense is 12th. Rushing defense is 7th. Scoring defense, they're below the middle of the pack. They're 22. They're allowing 22 points a game. The Jets are allowing 19 points a game. The Jets are 5th defense overall, so they've got a really, really good defense. But there is a weakness on this defense, and I'm going to get to that. And this is where we're going to need to attack. Their passing defense is 2. Scoring defense, as I said, is 7. They're in the red zone. Their defense in the red zone is 5. Their rushing defense is 28. If the Miami Dolphins need to do anything at all for the remaining games of this season, okay, whether Tyreek is in there or not, especially if he's not in there, but whether he's in there or not, okay, it's getting in. This is December, folks. Okay, pound the rock, run the ball. We see that they're capable of doing this. And as you said, Courtney, they have Achane. They have Mostert. They have Wilson when they let him play. Okay? I agree with you 100%. They can be another Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams in a different style, but they can be them. And why doesn't Mike McDaniel, he was a running back guru. Why in the hell doesn't he? Why can't he's getting too smart for his britches.
I think he just gets too addicted to his weapons like Waddle and Hill. There's the sexy things to throw to. Oh, I got these shiny toys. But sometimes you just got to play with the reliable. He wants to play with the Ferraris out there, but sometimes you just need the good, Ford F-150s to run over people back there and just keep on going. You don't always need that Ferrari. And these guys can't. They got the speed to take it to the house if they get a gap. Achane was just a couple little steps away from having a few huge runs last night. So keep on pounding him, and that kid will get a big play, just like Tyreek can, Courtney, is how I look at it. Just keep on giving him.
I agree. I think Mike McDaniel I think he's trying to prove to the world that he's an offensive genius too much. Like he wants to do too many trick plays and cool schemes you've never seen and all these motions. And it's great in a limited setting, but you can't forget that this is football and it's a physical sport. And when it comes down to it, you just need to pound it too. You need to balance it. I think he just gets too crazy of, no, I'm going to prove to them that I'm this genius and I can do this. And he forgets about, I love Achane. You see me, I tweet about him all the time. I just bought his jersey. I said if he had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards, I got his jersey. I'm a huge Achane fan. I love the running backs. I wore my Lamar Miller, that I can't wear it for the rest of the season. It's jinxed now with a loss, but for my Lamar Miller, I love the running back, and I need him to get on board with these backs and just, okay, if they don't get the big play, let them pound it again. Give them another chance. Like,
Nope,
you know,
exactly. You just keep at it. That's it. Yeah.
As long as we get positive yards, I don't care. Great. Keep pounding the rock.
Yeah.
And then throw in your plays, but you got to give it to them. You let me see my Achane tutties. That's all I want.
Hey, I know exactly. You made a great point about McDaniel trying to prove he's a genius, but I also think he tries too hard to show that Tua's the guy and that he's the number one guy. Who cares about all that? This is win football games. Show you're the best offense because you can run the football and throw the football. Because if you run the football, it's going to make throwing the football that much easier because they're going to say, oh, we can't cheat on the pass. They're going to liable to run us to death. So if you do that, it makes everything easier. That's why I just don't get it.
Did we not learn from the Seahawks Super Bowl meltdown where Russell Wilson threw the ball instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch on the one and they lost the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I know. It's just,
learn from the past.
Yeah, and that's a term that McDaniel always says. McDaniel always wants to say, "Oh, we learned from this." But he just used the same mistakes over and over on the running game. I find, and he says that we as fans are playing the result because if they would have ran it, then we would have said, "Oh, you got stuffed." Why did? And maybe there's some truth to us playing the result. But after that beautiful pass, Tua did throw one beautiful pass to Tyreek Hill in that game, right there on the sideline after Tyreek had come back from being injured. And right there on the sideline, he got it between the two guys on the play that their guy got hurt for a minute. Then after that play, right down there, got in the goal line situation, they did not run the ball one time. They did not run the ball one time on that set of downs. How do you not run it when you got Mozart, who's on the cusp of breaking every touchdown record in Miami Dolphins single season record? He has the nose for the football, the end zone, like Courtney says. He's going to move that power forward and probably get you a touchdown because lo and behold, later in the game, they ran it to Mozart and he got 2 touchdowns. So why not do that earlier? It's dumbfounding to me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. McDaniel tries to get too cute and he makes things so complex. Just play simple fundamental one-on-one football, man. It always wins games. The running game, pounding the rock, beating the crap out of defense by running the ball. And then when you got the opportunity, go ahead and throw a deep pass downfield. You got Tyreek, you got the fastest man in football. You got Achane, right? You got all these weapons. Then utilize them then. But just play, especially now, playing against the New York Jets, because the New York Jets has the defense on personnel. See, that's what everybody doesn't understand. Everybody's got this idea, the narrative. Oh, we can beat the bad teams. Yeah, we beat the bad teams with bad defenses that don't have the personnel. But the bad teams, and Titans proved it, the bad teams that have the personnel, even with a bad defense, but they have the personnel to play physical football one-on-one.
He did beat the Jets up there on Black Friday.
But look how we beat them. Okay, again, you got to watch the games. You got to watch the product that's on the field. You watch what they do. Okay, don't go by the score. Don't go by the junk yardage. Don't go by the fancy play or whatever. Watch how the defense play us. Okay. And that's how you're going to come up and you're going to analyze this team and you're going to find out, are they capable of winning their first game in the freaking playoff? I'm not even talking Super Bowl anymore, man. My confidence is blown up, man. It's just blown. This game blew the wind out of me, man. I don't have the confidence anymore.
Your expectations, AFC Championship game.
Yeah, those are my expectations. Are still my expectations, but my expectations are more realistic now. My expectations is, damn, I don't even know if we're going to make it to the playoffs because we got 4 tough matchups coming up. Don't sleep on the Jets, and we got defenses that are, as I said, when we first started the podcast, I said these defenses, right, when we started talking about defenses and things and personnel, Dallas Cowboys, Ravens, Buffalo Bills. You see what the Buffalo Bills did to the Dolphins offense when we had Armstead and we had Connor Williams. What do you think they're going to do to us now?
Well, we had
That's
no
all
Connor
I'm saying.
Brilliant. We had no Connor Rillins in that game.
Oh, you're right. You're right. But the bottom line is, you know, look what they did to our offensive line, and we've lost even more guys now. But there's no excuse for that, man. You know, how can we say that? How can we use that as an excuse if we're 9-4, right?
No,
So I'm
you're
tired
right.
of people say it's the O line. It's not the O line. It's the Mike McDaniel's play calling, like Courtney just mentioned, getting fancy, getting too cute, not playing fundamental football, right? And when they do stop us, you know, as far as the passing game goes, Tyreek, you see what happens. We lose the games.
Yeah. Hunter, I want to touch, and then I'll let Courtney get some word in. I do agree with
Absolutely.
Hunter. I know we've picked on McDaniel tonight, but I do think he's been the right hire. I still have faith that he can finally be our long-term coach moving forward. A lot of this is recency bias because we're really mad about last night. We're pissed off about last night. So I understand it. I still like me some Mike McDaniel. I'm still drinking his Kool-Aid at times, but with a young coach, you just sometimes have to go through his growing pains, and we're suffering through that. But overall, I'm with you on that, Hunter. I know I probably came across hard on him today about the lack of running, but I actually like McDaniel.
Yeah, and I'm with you. You know, we've been talking about this, Rob. I like McDaniel too. But there's just some things I don't like about him. You know, I like his coaching style. I like his culture that he's brought to Miami. He's brought a winning culture in that locker room. That's for sure. He's changed the culture. You know, I may joke about the way he dresses and all that kind of stuff. Hey, that's if as long as we're winning games, I don't care how he dresses. He can go out there in nude. I don't care, naked, whatever. As long as we win.
Yeah.
but the bottom line is, I agree with both of you guys tonight. We've got to start pounding this rock moving forward. That's going to be the goal. That is the key to us winning and making it to that first playoff game, or getting into playoffs. We've got to run the rock, and when the opportunity arises, then we know we got the talent to throw it across the top, right? We got the speed, and we got the quarterback that has the quick release when we're working on all cylinders. But get that running game going. Help Tua out. Don't put it all on Tua's shoulders. He's not that guy. Okay? He's not that guy. It's not his style. You know, he's not a mobile quarterback. He's not going to create plays off script. Not saying he can't or he hasn't, but he's not going to do it. Right? He's not going to do it like a Josh Allen, like a Will Levis did, like
all right,
hell, even
Courtney, go. I have to cut off Steve for a minute. Let Courtney go. I saw her raise her hand.
I was raising hand. I'm listening.
Okay, never mind.
This was my last point, guys. I promise.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're playing the Jets next week. Look, man, I'm going to go out on the limb here, and I'm going to say we're going to win this game. I know Evan Posner thinks we're going to lose this game. Thinks we're going to lose the remaining games. I know he's pissed off. He's mad. He's passionate. I know he feels the same way we all do as Dolphin fans. You know, we want the best for our team. We want the best for Tua. We want Tua to be successful. But we just got to call it like it is, man. So I do think we're going to win the game next week. I'm not going to make any predictions now. I know, Rob, we're probably going to have a pregame show on Sunday, right? 10 a.m. Sunday on Dolphin Thirsty YouTube channel. Rob and I will have the pregame.
Courtney, if you can co-host with Steve that day, because I'm going to the game.
Rob is going to. That would be great.
So if you could actually co-host, that'd be perfect.
I don't plan things on Sundays, so I'm
all right. So that's perfect.
All right. Great. That's wonderful. So it's going to be you and I, Courtney.
All right.
We got the ball in our hands, man. Yeah. So appreciate that, Rob.
No problem. And Evan, real quick, Evan has a show on this network we're on tonight, Fins Talk Sports Network, called The Bandwagon Show. And if it's according to schedule, he should be on tomorrow night. So it's going to be funny. He normally, by Thursday night, he's all roses and sunshine because it's the bandwagon. They only talk about positive stuff. So I don't know how he's going to get in the bandwagon mood by tomorrow night. But it's going to be him altering his personality here in the next night because
If
he's
you can
been
talk
really
about
down.
the third straight pick six in a game, that's a positive. That was a positive. Three
Yep.
straight games with a pick six.
Yeah,
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 that was a
you're
good, that
right.
was a
And
great
I think
play
you
by
called that, Courtney. Actually, you
Sealer.
called. Someone did. I know.
I called that they were going to get 3 pick sixes
Okay,
in
but
a
hey,
game. In a
yeah,
game.
but hey,
You
one
did
is
say
good
that.
enough. Hey, calling one and a defensive lineman getting it makes it up. That's almost as good as 3, man.
And he
It's so much
scored a
fun.
touchdown. Yeah, so that you can't
Yeah.
ask
I
for
love
better
when the
than that.
big men can get it in. Like just
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Courtney, any last words before we close the show tonight?
no, just I agree. I think I tweeted this to Cheetah earlier today, and I said I feel like your mother. I love you, but I'm just disappointed in your behavior. He'll never see it, but I did tweet it to him. And that's how I feel about the Dolphins. Is I don't think we can pretend like everything's great, and I don't think it makes you a bad fan if you're like there's problems. I think the fan base is split there, but I love McDaniel. I like Tua. I just work needs to be made, and I don't think that anyone's less of a fan for pointing it out and saying it. I'm still going to be tuning in to watch. My paycheck is still going to be going to merch. It's still happening.
I hear you.
I'm just allowed to be mad.
But overreaction. Hunter has a whole bunch of two questions, but do you think, and I don't think they would right now, I don't think any team would give a first round.
No.
I agree.
They're not going to trade Tua. They're not going to trade Tua.
But
I don't think Tua will get a first round until he
right.
starts winning primetime and playoff games.
I don't think
Is that what did he ask, Rob? I
he didn't ask like should we? He just said, do you think he even has a first round value in other teams' eyes? Like if we said
right now?
Right now.
Yes.
No, not right now. What has he done? Has he won a playoff game? Has he won a Super Bowl?
So I just said.
No, I know. No, that's it. So that's
just
why I was
like you
wondering.
said.
Because maybe a second round pick, because we gave up a second round pick for Josh Rosen a couple of years ago or something like that. They would take a flyer on him. But that's not going to happen. He's going to either be a Dolphin through next year, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
He was just trying to bring up, does he have any value outside the game?
Oh, okay. I got you. No. I know some folks are saying we need to trade to and all. No, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's my opinion.
Who are you going to get?
That's the way. If that's the way the person feels, that's fine. I respect that opinion, but I'm not the opinion of that. But Rob, any last words from you?
No, other than, hey, Ray, Finkel, better late than never. One of our regulars on both my network and this network.
Hey, Ray.
Awesome. But Courtney, I let you have final say and just stay in the show again so we can talk to you backstage to thank you again before you totally leave. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So final thoughts, Courtney.
Final thoughts are just, it was rough, but it's time to put it past us. And I really need to see a focus on the run. I think that that's where we're going to find success in this stretch, especially with the injuries. So I want to see my run game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. Well, I appreciate you again coming on and joining us and putting up with me, especially, and Rob.
You were on fire tonight,
Courtney. All good. You guys are fun. You guys are fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Where can they find you again?
You can find me on Twitter as doll_fan72.
All right, great. And everybody knows where they can find you, Thirsty. And everybody knows where I'll be at every Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern time. I will be here on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I want to thank again everybody for joining us tonight. We couldn't do this show without you. We appreciate you. Make sure if you haven't by now, hit that like button, and please share this with your friends, your families, your neighbors. If you're new to the channel, I hope I didn't scare anybody away tonight. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. All three of us are all just passionate Dolphin fans. We want the best for our Miami Dolphins. And Rob, take her away, buddy.
All right. That's it. Dolphins. Are you still going to do a Dolphins number 1, or you're not in the mood for a Dolphins number 1 tonight, Steve?
Oh, I'm always in the mood for a Dolphins number 1.
All right.
All right. You
Let's
ready?
Do it, then.
Don't forget. Dolphins number 1, baby.
Dolphins number 1. Ends up.